We're now going to cover the front and rear mechs, which are operated by the two sets of shifters, one on the right hand side of the handlebars and one on the left hand side of the handlebars. The right hand side controls the rear shifters, the rear gears, and the left hand side controls the front mech. We've got three on the front and 8 on the back, which gives us a total of 24 gears to use. But we don't use all them gears. We only use certain gears to avoid mechanical damage. So on the front mech, we've got three cogs, and in the middle one, which is number 2, you can use any combination on the back. In the big cog on the front, you can only use, or you should only use, the first 4 cogs on the rear. And on the little one on the front, you should only use the first 4 cogs, counting down from the spokes. Reason being is, if you're on the big one at the front and the big one at the back, your chain starts to get diagonal. Right. Using the gears on the right hand side, the rear gears, one click with a thumb to make the chain go up the cassette. It hasn't worked, therefore there's not enough tension in the inner cable to fetch it up. To solve this problem, we've got a barrel adjuster on the rear and a barrel adjuster on the front. By moving the barrel adjuster out while pedalling, the chain should move up the cassette. We press the right shifter in once to try and move it up the cassette, and it's not moved. So we use the barrel adjuster, move it outwards until the correct tension comes and takes the chain up to the next cog. Starting to hear it, trying to get up there now, and it's moved up. Just to confirm that it works, take it back down and then go up again, and it's gone up. And then go all the way up the cassette, pressing in with the thumb until you get to the top. And the big one is when you're pedaling dead easy. The little one is when it becomes a lot harder. So with the finger, we take it down and the pedaling starts to get more difficult. And this is for flat ground or going downhill. Again, to make your cycling easier, if you're coming to the hill, just use the thumb, a couple of clicks, and then it becomes a lot more easier pedaling. If you come to the very, very steep hill, then go to the left and use the finger to click down to the smallest ring, and that makes the pedaling a lot easier. Take it up to the middle. Again, if we're going downhill or we're going fast, we can move it up to the big ring on the front. Take it back to the centre, and that's where most people do most of the riding. On the middle one on the front, and the combination can use any one on the back. On the front mech, we've also got 2 screws marked L and H, and that stands for low and high. Now these are, you need to engage these when, if you go into the bottom ring and the chain jumps off the cassette into the frame, you need to adjust the low limit screw. And you do that by turning it clockwise, tightening the screw, enabling the mech to come this way, which will stop the chain from jumping off the bike. Likewise, if you're on the big one and it jumps off outwards, then we go to the high limit screw and we tighten it quarter of a turn at a time until the chain sits comfortably on the cassette and stops from jumping out. On the rear mech, we've got the same setup, 2 more screws, high screw and low screw. And again, they stop the chain from jumping off from the small cog or jumping off from the big cog into the spokes. The big one represents the low limit screw, and the small small cog represents the eye limit screw. Again, if it jumps off, tighten it quarter of a turn at a time until it stays in its position. And again, with the big one, the low limit screw, just tighten it. If you've tightened it too much and it doesn't come back up, then just let it out another quarter of a turn until you get it where you want it.